Hi, this is Andy Katz, host of March Madness 365, presented by Grammarly. This week on the podcast, listen as we break down the latest AP poll and give you insights on my updated Power 36. Listen to March Madness 365 with Andy Katz, presented by Grammarly, wherever you get your podcasts. Grammarly is a secure AI writing partner that gives your team an instant first draft in a few clicks, not a few hours. Companies that use Grammarly save an average of 19 days per employee per year. Grammarly works seamlessly across 500,000 apps and websites. Get personalized, on-brand writing help everywhere your team works. Learn what better writing can do for your company at Grammarly.com. Grammarly. Easier said, done.
What the heck is happening? So I'm running out there, and I'm trying to get her to calm down, and I'm asking her what happened.
What were you saying to get her to calm down?
Can you calm down? What happened?
Yes. I have a question for you.
Yes.
Does that ever work?
No.
Right. Okay. Because there is nothing that makes me angrier when I am out of control than somebody telling me to calm down.
These are the plaintiffs, Monique and Joshua Imperial. Monique says she rented a house from the defendant. The woman was a kook who showed her she had a gun on the day she moved in. And now that she's out of there, she can't get her full security deposit returned. That's right. She's simply holding on to it because she's a controlling woman who thinks she can do whatever she wants. Well, she's here to show the defendant she can't and is suing for the return of her $350. These are the defendants, Brandy and Al Herrera. Brandy says everything was fine until the plaintiff moved her adult son into the place. The plaintiff's son's a troublemaker. He wasn't supposed to be living there, and she ultimately had to kick the both of them out. Bottom line, the plaintiff stunk up the place with pot smoke, stained the walls. She needed to repaint, and that's why she kept the $350. They're accused of lousy landlording.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Milian in our forum, the People's Court.
Ms. Heedy, come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. Monique Imperial and Joshua Imperial. And what's your relationship?
This is my son.
That's your son?
Yeah.
You look young. You're suing Brandy Herrera and Al Herrera for $350, a balance of a security deposit that they withheld, and you feel they wrongfully withheld. Talk to me, Ms. Imperial. Tell me what happened.
Okay, I originally found a ad on Craigslist for a mother-in-law house, and it was what I wanted.
So describe the place. Was it separate and detached?
Yes.
Or what? Okay.
Yeah.
Does anybody have a picture?
Yes.
May I see it? All right, so go on.
On Christmas, because this was just in December, my son had come into town from Alaska, and he was there a couple days, and Brandy and I had a conversation about whether he was going to come in and live with me. And I wasn't sure at that point. He was going through his own things. He'd been in Alaska for a few years, and I'd like to have him back. But based on our conversation, I did move my son in with me, and we had been living there for 6 months.
How big was the place?
It's a 1-bedroom, 1-bath, had a kitchen and a den living room area.
Okay. So did she know that he was staying there?
Yes. In fact, she's the one that brought it up to me, and it was the initial week that he first.
What did she say about it? No, he can't.
She liked him. He was helping her out with stuff. She was telling me how he's a great guy. We wouldn't mind him being here.
Okay.
So that's
what is it? What were you helping her out with?
Starting certain lawn equipment. That she had trouble with the pull strings. I helped her move a couple items, put them in the back of the truck. Heavy lifting.
Yeah. It just became that right at the beginning.
Right. Okay. So, Mal, you lived there how long?
With my mom?
Yeah.
Roughly about a couple weeks after she got there.
How long did you live there before you guys moved out?
Oh,
6 months.
Yeah, 6 months. July 15th
6 weeks
is
or
when,
6 months?
6 months.
6 months. Okay, and then there was a problem. And what was the problem? I believe the problem was with you, correct?
Apparently. I
So
had worked and came home, grabbed my dinner, and go out to the patio area to smoke a cigarette and eat my food, watch some Netflix to relax after my day. And she had approached me about sitting in the patio area and had asked me to move to the other side of the pool.
Did she say why?
At first, I wasn't going to question. I'd kind of sighed and everything, and she asked me what it was. I said, never mind. She insisted that I tell her, and I asked her, it's been 6 months. I've been doing this regularly. How come, you're asking me to move to the other side of the pool now? And apparently, I guess I was watching Netflix a little loud sometimes. She would ask me to turn it down. I would turn it down. And I guess she preferred walking around her house in a certain fashion, and she didn't appreciate the fact that I might be able to see into the house because it was patio areas in the back. So there's like no curtains, sliding glass door.
How far is that area from her house?
It's right outside she has double doors that went out to the patio.
15 feet?
15 feet.
Okay, so go ahead.
And so I just had asked her, it's been 6 months, why are you
Okay, you already
this up
said that.
now?
And then so she says what she says, and then you say what?
She said she was looking for a polite way to mention it and bring it up and everything. I said, okay, I'll go to the other side.
What was the problem? Just curious, because if they're renting the place, aren't they renting the space he was sitting in too?
No, there was a back patio that he originally started sitting at whenever he first.
Is the back patio part of the place?
No, yes, right here. You can see this is where he would sit. Those are my doors, and this is where I asked him to move from to the other side.
Okay, move from to the other side.
Yeah, it's 30 feet from their door, and where he was sitting was 20 feet from their door.
Okay, but which is their door? Is that
those aren't the next picture? That's my house. There you go.
Okay, so that's your house in the
That's
picture.
where he would sit, right? And
he would sit
those are my
there
doors.
in your house, and at one of these tables?
Exactly where my husband's
where I'm sitting.
looking into my house.
That's his seat. Right there.
Where is their place in relation to this picture?
To the right of that, and then if you look in this picture,
so
everything's
he's
to the
actually
right.
sitting on your patio.
Yes.
Oh,
There was always told to us, though, that we could sit there. In fact,
hold on. Is that the door? Is
Yes.
that their sliding door
Yes.
from their? Okay.
Yeah. And so we asked him to sit at the back table.
But what I don't get is what if I were, is there a back table? Because I don't see
There's
it.
a back table, and it's
I would
got
have put one of my tables
and
back
it's got a patio. I mean, it's got a umbrella.
All right, so whatever. So you have a problem with it. They has a problem with it that day that you have a problem with it. And then what happens? What's said between the two of you? Because you apparently go off on something you heard. What was that?
As I had walked out and told him, I would like you to sit at the back table, he wanted to say, well, why? I've been doing this for 6 months. And I thought, okay, here we go. So I had initially just wanted to be polite, and it just wasn't happening. And so I turned around and walked away. I asked him, I said, what, just do it. Just go sit out there. I just need you to. And I started to walk back into my house, and he got up and started walking around the edge of the pool and is mumbling things under his breath. And as I got into my house, I thought, wait a minute, this is my home. And I took off back outside.
Wait, what was he mumbling?
Things about women and, I'm the landlord. It's my decision. I can do whatever I want.
Wait, what about women or
That's just it. He was mumbling things under his breath.
Wait, but what was he saying?
That's what he was mumbling.
What?
So, well, all I heard was, well, there you go for a woman, and you're the landlord. It's up to you. You can do what you want.
Okay, so then you come out and do what?
And, well, that's the truth. So I came out and went around the back to the table, and I said, wait a minute. My family doesn't talk to me that way. You're not going to. What are you doing? And then I started calling him names.
What'd you call him?
Well, I can't say it, but I can. I mean, I just told him that he was, I was offended, totally. And I told him that he was a dumb.
That's pretty severe over something like that. Mm-hmm.
Well, no, because it was the way he did it as he was sitting there. And remember, I'm crippled.
I'm not questioning whether you have a right to have somebody respect you more who's on a month-to-month, right? Because there's no lease here.
Correct.
I'm just questioning whether that reaction was necessarily.
It was there because of his attitude and the way he was walking, and just kind of, he was more
I just can't imagine how I would ever talk to a tenant that way who was still going to stay there.
It was. Well, and that's just the point.
Whatever. Okay, so he comes home and he tells you what happened. How old are you?
31.
Okay. He comes home and he tells you what happened, and you...
No, what happened is it started the whole day in the morning, and she had texted me that she wanted to speak to Joshua. because of the way we had been over these 6 months, I thought she needed Joshua's help with something again.
That's not what you wrote
And
in
I
the complaint.
said that that he was already at work. And that's when she had come outside. There was already agitation for some reason. It started with me hearing my bike being thrown to the side of my house. She was moving stuff. And I
Well,
came
why
out.
was the bike not at your house?
My bike was right there where she wanted me to keep my bike. She didn't even want to be able to see my bike in the backyard, so I had to keep it between the two homes. And apparently she had something to do there, so the next thing I heard from inside my house was my bike falling to the ground again. This was about the 4th time she'd thrown my bike to the side and not
Thrown
cared.
it or moved it carelessly?
Thrown it, because you could hear it as it was, hitting the house. That's when I came outside and asked her, did you need help with something? I'll help you. She started complaining about her back. And so that's what I thought everything was about. And then when he comes home 8 hours later, sits down to do what he normally does.
What had you wanted to talk to Joshua about earlier that day? This?
That I don't know. Just something random.
Something else.
Do not
All right.
know.
All right. In any event, you make a decision. Hey, I'm giving you my 30-day notice.
After I couldn't calm her down, she ended up, I came outside to yelling. There was just screaming. And what the heck is happening? So I'm running out there and I'm trying to get her to calm down and I'm asking her what happened.
What were you saying to get her to calm down?
Can you calm down? What
Okay.
happened?
I have a question for you.
Yes,
Does that
ma'am.
ever work?
No.
Right. Okay.
It was
Because there is nothing that makes me angrier when I am out of control than somebody telling me to calm
Ma'am,
down.
I was already going back to my home.
No.
Stop.
What it was is the thing that I came outside to is if you're not out of here in 1 week, you'll see what'll happen to you. That's
real?
what she says to my son.
She doesn't have a right to, well, she
She's
say
got
whatever she wants, but she
guns
doesn't
in
have a
this house,
legal
and
right
there's
to
been
get
a
him
co-
out. Sorry.
I'm sorry.
She doesn't have a legal right to get him out in 1 week. It's
I
a
knew
month-to-month
that,
tenancy.
and I had said
And you've
that.
accepted, you can say, well, I didn't rent to you, but that's not true. Once he's
Right.
there 6 months, you are renting to each of them, to both of them, every 30 days. But go ahead.
Correct.
Yeah, well, that's...
So whatever. But bottom line is, you give her 30 days notice, and there's no
Yeah.
question about notice.
Yeah.
So the security deposit is how much?
$1,250.
And you ended up returning how much?
900
And the reason you kept the remaining $350 was why?
for paint.
Why?
Because there's holes in the wall and you can see the outline of the things she had up on the wall. She did a ritual in the closet and there's black all over the
What do you mean a
wall.
ritual in the closet?
Ritual in the closet.
Hold on a second. What's a ritual in the closet?
I'm assuming where she got rid of our ghost. There are marks.
What are you talking about?
That's what we kept the money for, was because there are
No,
marks.
my question to you is, what did you see that leads you to say she did
She came out and
ritualism?
had said, "Do you guys have a ghost?" And I said, "Yes." And she says, "Okay." because he's in,
Wait.
That's part of it.
Hold it. She comes out and says, do you guys have a ghost?
When she first moved
and
into the
your
house.
your answer is yes.
No, she
Correct.
grabbed my hand to talk to Charlie.
No.
Charlie, this is Monique. She'll be
Wait a
moving
minute.
into the house. She's okay.
Okay.
She is, if I may, she is a psychic.
She's an online psychic.
Monique.
Monique is.
an online psychic.
So when she said that, I said, "Yes, we do." She said, "Well,
Wait,
he's
but
very
why did
angry."
you think you did?
Oh, we've heard him. We've heard him.
My sister lived there for 19 years in my back house. And she said the door open, this, that, and the other.
Going through her makeup. I mean, yeah. We have Charlie. We named him. We don't know if it was a male or female, whatever. But you can see where in the closet, she had said that's where she feels him the most, and the bathroom. She was locked in the bathroom once by him.
Many times.
And
Not by him.
By who?
By the door. The door wouldn't open right. I wanted them to fix the door.
I thought we were gonna have
The
even
bedroom
more
and the
interesting-
bathroom
All
door
right,
had a
stop.
hard time
Just
opening.
so show me the bathroom. Show me the bathroom.
Well, we
Did you
have
paint
just
the
pictures.
I'm sorry, the
Yeah.
closet. Did
Give me
you
that.
paint the closet black?
No,
This
no,
is-
the closet had never been painted. It was dirty when we came in. The rest of the
Okay,
house had
are you
painting,
suggesting that it
but
was
she's
painted black?
suggesting that I did something
no,
black to
the
it.
black marks on it.
There was a
are
black
from-
mark that was in there when I moved in.
Are from
From what?
Okay, but tell me why you're keeping 350. Is this your proof to be
These
able to
ones.
keep 350?
Yeah.
Show me everything you have
Here, give me that.
for proof to keep 350. And what is it you're saying? That there are black marks on the wall?
that
And
there are.
What are they? Why can't you just
outlines.
clean them off?
Well, you
Well,
can see the
that's just
outline
it.
in these pictures that the
There's no way that that's going to come off.
Wait, you can see the outline what?
of her
in-
the pictures that she had hanging. from the smoke and incense. The one where there's a hanger from the roof is where she would burn her incense, and the burn mark on the
Hanger
ceiling.
from the roof. No, there wasn't.
Right
No,
there.
from the ceiling, he
On the
means.
burn
It's a
mark on the
hook.
ceiling. There's a hook where you would hang a plant, and she would burn her incense in there. So there's the burn mark from all the smoke.
Right, but like, look, I burn candles in my bedroom, and
Right.
there's soot sometimes in special
Correct.
places, and then I just clean them. Why don't you clean them?
I understand that after 6 months of
You
Monique
can't get
living
the
there,
smell out of there.
I expected to clean, but I didn't expect to have to paint because everything was freshly painted.
Show me proof that you painted.
They told me
Wasn't
to.
Show me, I'm not talking to you. Show me
I
proof
don't
that
have
you
it.
painted. What?
I don't have proof that I painted.
Why not?
We painted ourselves,
So
and
show me proof that you bought paint.
Unfortunately, like I said, my sister lived there for 19 years. I
Exactly. Your
hadn't
sister
done
lived there for
this.
19 years.
So I
It had
Do
to
you
be
have
painted.
pictures of the place when you handed it to her so that I
Oh,
can
I do
see?
have that. That's on the
Show me
phone.
that. It's on your phone?
if you just would swipe, it's right
Why
there.
are you showing me a picture of this desk or table?
It's broken at the bottom, and it wasn't broken when she moved
That's
in.
not true either. It was so broken. That was left there, and they said, could I use it? And I put a big
There
tablecloth
are-
over it
Yeah,
because of
those two.
that. Thank you. They gave me that and a broken down
Can I
couch.
suggest to everybody that whenever you rent an apartment, either as a landlord or as a tenant, do you have a telephone?
Yes.
Does it take video?
Yes.
Does it
she
take
did-
pictures?
She has video.
It's not just for nasty pictures.
Right.
It's also for evidence. So when you rent a place, you should be videoing very slowly every little nook and cranny that's wrong with it so that you can protect yourself.
Well, I do-
And you should, wait a minute. I know you know everything.
I
Just
know.
let me see.
I know.
And then you should be showing very slowly everything to show the condition it's in. Right.
She does have video.
The reason we're showing
Whose
those,
phone is this? Yours?
Mine.
And what is it I'm going to see here?
The condition that she got the
Got
house.
it in. But
and the reason we're showing those photos
do you
is
have close-ups of the walls that you're showing here?
No.
All right.
in her statement, she claims she cleaned, scrubbed, mopped, and
That's
dusted.
it, just these two, the three
That's
pictures I
it.
already saw. All right.
That's
That's
it.
not what I'm referring to. Let me see your video. Go ahead. What were you saying, sir?
And the reason we're showing you the pictures of the way she left it is because in her statement, she claimed that she mopped, cleaned, scrubbed, and cleaned everything up. As you see in the photos, didn't happen.
How much did the paint cost you?
It was
it cost-
$100.
How much?
I think it
$100.
was like $150.
But to have somebody paint it, because I can't now, it's $700.
Did you have somebody paint it?
I
Well, no,
painted it.
I'm going to.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin in front of the TMZ Hollywood Tour Bus. The question, would you live on the same property as your landlord?
Absolutely not, and don't ever do it. It's the worst thing.
Why? Experience?
They're on your case. They will show up at your door at 8 in the morning just because they wanted to check something, and they'll open the door themselves and let themselves in.
You've had a bad experience.
Worst, like at ridiculous hours, blame me for everything.
Okay, God, I'm so glad I just edited myself. I was going to say something. Oh, God. Sorry. I'm sorry, and I didn't even say it. No, it's funny, though. Trust me. It would have been funny, but inappropriate. Going inside the courtroom.
You're going to, or you painted
Well,
it?
No,
first- I'm sorry,
originally,
before
the
she
first
rented,
time.
right.
Before she rented, we painted it.
Okay.
It hasn't been
But
painted
now
yet.
it hasn't been
Okay.
painted since.
Have you re-rented
And
it?
the bathroom was
Have
never
you re-rented
painted.
it, or you're not
No,
renting
we're not
it?
No, we're
going
not.
to.
We're never
We're
doing
not
this
going to
again.
again. It's in our backyard.
It's too close to my home.
It's too close to you.
My sister lived there.
It's too close to her. Yeah, she owns a place. She doesn't
Yeah.
want you.
She-
What you need to do is you need to set ground rules with people so they're not offended. They don't think that
He
it's
started
personal.
off in the back and moved to the front. But
Well, then
she
the day
had
he
said
comes
now
to
that
the
he.
front, tell him, listen, do you
Right.
think you could go, I'm going to put this table back there for you so that
There's
you have
already- yeah.
space, or there's a table back there for you. Can you please, just so I don't, we don't feel
Yeah,
each other
as
so
I was
much.
screaming
It's
at him,
an
that's
easy
when
way to
it dawned on
resolve
me.
this. It doesn't end up like this.
It could have been resolved.
Is this a video?
Yeah, that's what.
Okay, don't talk.
Okay. I did want to say I was agitated.
Yeah, I could hear it.
But in your
Yeah,
complaint,
she had done this to me, and instead I just wanted to hit her.
She had
and I
done what?
grabbed- I'm trying to tell
What's
her.
this?
She goes, like a junior high kid, and I blew
How
up.
did you two get along before this?
I tried. She had a way of talking to us like we were kids all the time. She had a way of being judgmental and
We've left it more than broom clean. I was told it was not brand new paint. You can even see the paint job, how it drips along here. This was always broken. And so I put a new fixture that I left. This door, you can see, had a problem.
Wait a minute, half of that video is missing.
No, there's no video missing.
In beautiful condition.
In fact, I left everything.
Here was never fixed, and you could also see how there was no vent on the stove. You can shut the up. I'm done with you. All right? And you can see
You do know you're videoing for a judge,
Yes.
right?
you
I did.
for it. She doesn't want to pay me my full money. She
gets
thinks
worse.
she deserves it. And just for the record, we'll be filing against you, Brandy. You know, it takes some more medication to go nuts on people. That's all you know how to do.
Is that the part you thought would be missing?
No.
Oh, what part do you think is missing from
Yeah,
this?
I left everything.
Sounds pretty complete, right? Because
Yes.
if anybody was going to take something out, they'd probably take this out. What is this?
That was when she scraped whatever was there.
I copped to that.
It
you
is
stop? Does that mean-
like a table or whatever she had sitting there rubbed against the wall.
Okay, what were you going to say?
Exactly that. It was a trash can that had been against that wall.
Do you have any proof of having painted it the 6 months earlier?
No.
All right, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to order you to return a part of the deposit back. I'm going to allow you to keep $100. I'm ordering you to return $250 to the plaintiff. That's my verdict.
Well, plaintiff collects $250 of the $350 they sued for. You step in here a little closer and tell me what's your reaction to them getting that?
It's fine, karma. She believes in it, and it'll come back.
She believes in a lot of things. You all
Yeah.
appear to believe in a lot of things. What is the story with the ghost?
There was a ghost that lived in the home that she was renting, and he was very friendly until she moved in,
Yeah.
and now he's gone.
Yeah. Okay. All right, down this way. All right, so step on in here. You didn't get everything you sued for, but almost. What are you thinking coming out there?
I just wanted to get our money back. It was ridiculous, and there was just too much going on.
You like it when someone tells you to relax. You like that?
No, obviously I'm not good at it myself, so no.
All right, what about the ghost? What is it? Tell us.
When we got in there was some stuff that would move around, pop off the walls, and I'm a sensitive, so I kept having these bad dreams. And that's when I asked if there was a ghost, and instead of, found out she knew about a ghost.
And then what happens?
Well, I burned candles, and I, prayed and saged, and that's about it. Just
And?
tried to do a little cleansing of the house, but I should have had her pay for me cleaning out a ghost.
You sense
If it's not there
You
no
sense
more.
anything around here,
No, I think the evil walked off.
Harvey?
So if you end up living on the same property with your landlord, moving in, before you actually get a key, you have to establish boundaries and expectations. It is so important to sit down. If you don't do it, you're going to have the experience she had. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
Hi, this is Andy Katz, host of March Madness 365, presented by Grammarly. This week on the podcast, listen as we break down the latest AP poll and give you insights on my updated Power 36. Listen to March Madness 365 with Andy Katz, presented by Grammarly, wherever you get your podcasts. Grammarly is a secure AI writing partner that gives your team an instant first draft in a few clicks, not a few hours. Companies that use Grammarly save an average of 19 days per employee per year. Grammarly works seamlessly across 500,000 apps and websites. Get personalized, on-brand writing help everywhere your team works. Learn what better writing can do for your company at Grammarly.com. Grammarly. Easier said, done.
These are the plaintiffs, Danielle Gill and Jahat Kobos. Danielle says she bought a car from the defendant for her boyfriend, Jahat. The defendant told her the car was in perfect condition and even took her to his mechanic, who said the car was fine. She bought the car, then brought it to her mechanic the next day, and he told her she wasted her money because the car was no good. She was grossly taken advantage of. The defendant misrepresented the car, and they're suing for the return of the $2,142.31 she's owed. This is the defendant, Gerald Hatcher. He says he and the plaintiff drove the car to a garage. A mechanic who was not affiliated with him took a look at the car and told them it was in good shape. 10 days later, the woman calls him demanding her money back because she didn't want the car any longer. Oh, honey, it doesn't work like that. She test drove the car, had it looked at by a mechanic, bought it, and it's now hers. He's accused of selling a lemon.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff says she was swindled by the defendant in buying a car with the help of the defendant's mechanic, but the defendant says the mechanic was on the up and up. It's the case of unpopular mechanics.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Danielle Gill and Jahat Kobos, you are suing Gerald Hatcher for $2,142.31 for damage to your transmission. Tell me what happened.
I was driving down the street in Brooklyn, and on May 15th, it was a Friday, and I saw the 2003 Acura had a for sale sign, double back. Started looking at the car, just was walking around the car looking at it, and Gerald approached me. He told me that he was selling the car because I wanted to know why it was so cheap. It was $2,000. He said that he only was selling the car because he had just recently bought another car and he couldn't afford the insurance for 2 cars. And I was a little hesitant about purchasing a vehicle, even though I liked it, because I didn't have a mechanic. He recommended a mechanic that was not too far from where we were. So we took the test drive, went to
A specific mechanic that was not too far from where you were? Mm-hmm. You went to that mechanic's shop?
Well, we went. It was an AutoZone.
Okay, AutoZone's not a shop. I mean, AutoZone is a parts place,
yeah,
right?
He said that the mechanic, the guy that was there, was his mechanic that takes care of his car.
But why would you have him, his mechanic, who's his friend who takes care of his cars, screen something for you?
Well, I was just getting it because I know the demand for the car was probably high, and I didn't have...
You have a different version of how that went down, right?
Yes.
What do you say happened in terms of...
Everything was correct, what she said, up until when we got to AutoZone. I picked any mechanic that was out there and I asked him to come and look at the car.
Why would anybody do that? That doesn't sound believable, that a complete stranger would... What, you're saying it's a stranger?
No.
He's not a stranger.
He's not a stranger
someone you
to
know.
me. Yes.
Okay, so when you went to AutoZone, was he who you were looking for?
Yes.
Okay, so
He was
now
the
it's
guy
sounding a lot more like what she said.
Okay, it's
okay,
the guy
and how
that-
do you know him?
He always worked on my car.
Okay, now it's exactly what she said. It was your mechanic, you went out there, you looked at her, and he goes, yes, seal of approval, everything's fabulous. Why would you allow that to happen?
Because my mechanic was all the way in another borough.
Oh, that's so inconvenient. How inconvenient is it now?
Very.
Right. The problem is you wanted to buy it in a hurry because you figured it was too good to be true, and you wanted this car, right?
So he looked at it, the mechanic looked it over, said it was fine. We drove because the plates were still on it, obviously.
When you were driving it, how did it feel?
It felt all right. My boyfriend Jahat, was in another location. And
who were you buying this car for, him or you?
Him.
Okay.
Gerald drove the car to Jahat's house, and I drove my car to Jahat's house. He was being nice. I didn't think anything of it. He took off one plate, and he told me that on Monday he was going to go to the DMV and to make sure that I went the next day so that we didn't get tickets. Monday, I contacted Gerald because I went to my mechanic, and my mechanic said it's a piece of mess.
What was wrong with it, according to your mechanic?
He said that there was something with the transmission. An engine might have shifted. He said it was in a bad accident. My mechanic said it was the engine had shifted. He said he would fix it if I wanted it fixed, but he didn't do an official write-up because he said about $2,000, and he couldn't afford the $2,000. So we went to price at another place, and
Did you get the work done?
Yes.
How much did the work cost?
Well, we had 2 places do it. $979 for one, and then $1,088 for the transmission.
Now, why would he have to pay for these things?
Because he misled us on the bill of sale. We did a bill of sale, and he said it was in good condition. This car couldn't even pass inspections. Nobody would consider it in good condition. It's not good condition.
So would you ever trust the mechanic, the seller's mechanic, if you were buying a used car?
Not at all.
Because?
Because he's probably getting kickbacks working with his friend.
Wow, what if he's licensed though?
It doesn't matter. You need to bring your own mechanic anytime that you buy something.
I would agree on that as a universal statement there, going inside the courtroom.
How are you different from every other used car sale where it's as is and buyer beware?
I'm just taking a chance because the first mechanic that I went to, he told us that we have 30 days to He's going by. I'm just going by him because he has like 30 years experience. I don't know.
Yeah, that's not the law. The law is buyer beware. Now, I am a little uncomfortable about the fact that you, according to you, did he tell you, I'm going to take you to my mechanic, he'll look it over, and
yes.
Was he like trying to help you make that sale because he's your buddy?
You can ask her. I never used the phone. I never talked to anyone. And also, as we was at AutoZone, there were other individuals that she's not mentioning, walked up and wanted to buy the car in the same time that we were there, where she stepped in and told them, no, I'm buying the car.
How did they know? Because they had a for sale sign?
Yes, because it was written all over the car. And there's another thing I would like to add to this. When Ms. Gill took the car home, the next day, she bought this bill of sale. She typed up this bill of sale.
Really?
And bought it the next day.
What day of the week did she buy it?
A Friday.
Okay, so she came on Saturday or she came on Monday?
She came on Monday. And bought that she typed up that we signed.
Probably after she spoke to her mechanic?
That was before.
Then when did you complain? On the Monday?
That Monday.
That same day?
Yeah.
Okay, you should this is how it is by operation of law anyway. A used car sale is an as-is sale. When you buy a 12-year-old car, you need to have it looked at by a mechanic that you're happy with. That's what you have to do. People don't do it. That's why Douglas and I are in business. Okay? Because... Well, actually, the people who do it, I just don't see. So I'm sure lots of people do it, but you didn't. You thought you were going there to see his mechanic, and that's what you were happy with. Your mechanic feels like you need to do a bunch of work to it. But the bottom line is you did the work. I hope you're happy with the car after having put a little bit of money into it. I hope the car lasts you a nice long time, but nothing that I've heard would make me order him to take back the car and refund you the purchase price. I'm sorry. That's my verdict. Do you think you need to say something after that?
No, thank you. Thank you.
And so it's another as-is case here in the People's Court, which it happens way too often. You understand how the verdict came down the way it did?
Yes.
Right? What was your mistake in this?
I should have used my mechanic first.
Always get it examined, right. What do you think happened here? Do you think anything underhanded took place?
I do.
What do you think happened?
I feel like they were working together because I don't understand why someone would say a car is in good condition when it wasn't.
All right, well, it's an expensive lesson, but hopefully the car will last you a long time now.
Yes.
All right. All right, around the corner, documents are waiting for you there. All right. So step on out here. You were still talking as the judge was ruling. What was it you had left to say?
No, I just wanted to let her know that I had actually just bought another car that was older than that one. I had a mechanic look at it, and he said...
Were you working with this guy, this other mechanic you took it to?
No, he was just a mechanic that fixed my car a few times.
You give him a couple of dollars for the job?
No.
Right. He was objective?
No, he's okay.
Harvey?
You know, a lot of people don't realize this, but when you buy a used car, everybody thinks it's automatically as is. It isn't. You can always demand a warranty. You have every right, even with a private sale, to demand a warranty and see what you get. Well, that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff, Frank Warner Sr. He says he plowed the defendant's driveway 9 times, and the louse refuses to pay him for his services. The man made absolutely no complaints. It's been a year, and he wants his gosh darn money, and he wants it now because he worked hard clearing his driveway. He's suing for $270, the cost of the 9 plows. This is the defendant, Alan Truesdale III. He says the plaintiff piled the snow up on his precious, fragile rhododendrons, which were 16 feet away from where he was supposed to put the snow. The man's as careless as they come. He demolished his plants. He had to have them replaced, and he owes the out-of-control truck driver nothing. He's accused of trying to snow a plower. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $250, the cost to replace his rhododendrons.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff plowed the defendant's driveway 9 times and says he got stiffed. But the defendant says the bum dumped snow on some of his precious plants, destroying them. It's the case of the snowman who got plowed.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Frank Warner,
Yes.
You are suing Frank Warner Sr., you're suing Alan Truesdale III for $270 for 9 snow plows at $30 a plow that he has not paid you for. You're counterclaiming against him $250 for 2 rhododendrons that, according to you, he ruined. What happened?
Well, I started working for Alan in 2013, January, and I plowed his driveways for 2013 and into 2014, and then in August of 2014, he planted 4 rhododendrons off to the right of the driveway. And, you know, when he planted them, I went over in August and I watered them one time for him because it was hot.
So you would hire him to do other things besides plow?
No.
Did you call him and ask him to water?
Not that I recall.
Okay, so according to you, you went and watered his plants.
I went and watered his
unasked.
plant.
And what happened?
No, I was asked,
Okay.
and I have a bill stating that he did pay me to water.
Can I see that?
His flowers.
Right, and?
Yeah, bingo.
What were you going to say?
And it was the only time that they was watered that I know of.
You were plowing for him in January of 2013.
Yes, I started plowing in January.
And then in the summer, he called you to water the plants for him.
Correct.
Is that part true?
Yes.
Okay, so then you watered the rhododendron and what?
And then, when the snow came, I plowed. And, he mentioned to me in January, the rhododendrons are there. I said, yes, I'm aware that they're there, and I'll be very careful. And I said, what do you want me to do with the snow? He said, just plow the snow over to the right-hand side of the driveway.
So plow it to the right, but not on the rhododendron?
Right, correct.
Okay.
So I said, okay, fine, I will do that. So, and I did that, and then at times when I was over there plowing, I see the neighbors, which is a 3-family apartment house next door, throwing the snow on the rhododendrons.
Shoveling?
Shoveling the snow onto the rhododendrons.
Did you ever tell him that?
Yes, I did.
Did he ever tell you that the neighbors were shoveling snow onto the rhododendron?
I don't remember.
Okay, what's your
He
defense?
might have.
He wants you to pay him what you owe him. What's your defense?
Okay, so the guy says, I don't remember. Is that an admission?
Yes.
Okay. That was the longest yes I've ever heard. An admission?
Absolutely. He should have gave a definite yes or no, and by his hesitation, it definitely sounds like he's not sure.
Fair enough. Going inside the courtroom.
Well, first of all, perhaps it would be useful to you to have the situation.
The most useful
and
part of what you're about to hand me is the size of those pictures. God bless you. Judge-friendly printing. I love this.
The first 2 show the general context, and the last.
This is a rhododendron.
That's the row of the rhododendrons.
And this is a way to go into the house.
Around to the left of the garage, yes.
Okay.
Those I just took recently. And the replacement rhodos are the ones that are there.
So in these pictures are the replacement rhododendron.
Yes.
What's that a picture of?
The smashed rhododendron.
But how do you know that he smashed the rhododendron? As opposed to snow or the neighbors or?
Well, it was
because it was a harsh winter.
If you look at it, it was cut and flattened and run over.
How do you know the neighbors didn't shovel their snow onto it?
It wouldn't have mattered. They were perfectly okay covered with snow. That doesn't make any difference.
This spot could get more snowfall than that spot, right? So what you acknowledge that you owe him $270 for plowing. You're just saying I shouldn't have to pay it because he ruined my rhododendron?
Basically, yes, because well, first of all, let me point out the fact that he came over to look at the whole situation in the summertime. And I told him, he looked at it and he says, well, I don't have any place to put the snow. And I said, Frank, don't worry about it. I keep my car on the left side of the driveway.
I'm sorry, where'd you want him to put the snow? Here's a picture.
On the right-hand side of the...
Right, so between the drive...
No, I only needed the left side plowed. He could have moved it right over in front of the right-hand side of the garage.
So in between the rhododendron and you?
Yes, which was 12 feet to the total edge of the driveway and another 4.5 feet to the rhodo.
Okay, so. But see, here's the thing. Everybody who comes to court and sues has a burden of proof. Who's the fellow with you, moral support or a witness?
Moral support.
Okay, has a burden of proof to prove what they are saying. He has a lawsuit against you, and what he's saying is, I plowed 9 times, he hasn't paid me for those 9 times. which you acknowledge. He's proven his case. What you are saying is, but Judge, I shouldn't have to pay it because, look, he smashed my rhododendron. And that's the part you have to prove. Did you smash his rhododendron?
No, I did
Okay, how
not.
are you going to, because it's not like he's saying, hey, sorry, I smashed him. It's not like you have a witness seeing him plow that way. It's not like you have a picture showing the snow that way. You have nothing to prove that he smashed your rhododendron as opposed to that the weight of the snow did it. So on your lawsuit against him, 0. On his claim against you, $270 verdict for the plaintiff.
Thank you.
Right here, the defendant, whose pictures were nice and big, but they just didn't prove anything. So, what's your feeling on having coming out of here with nothing?
The whole experience was quite interesting.
Interesting. But you came in here to win your case, and you didn't. You weren't able to prove that he ruined your rhododendrons.
Well, I guess I wasn't standing there with a video camera to watch.
Or witnesses or something.
In the middle of winter.
Okay, you're asking the questions, ask them right around the corner this way. Great. All right, so step on out here. You had to sue him for $270, and you won what you needed.
Very happy with the results. Justice was done.
This is a person you've worked for many times?
For a few years.
And have you ever had a problem with him before?
He's never a happy man. You can't please him.
Okay, Harvey?
Okay, well, look, Kurt, if you hire somebody to do work, you have to pay unless you can prove that they didn't do the job or that they caused you damage. That's pretty much it. And in this case, clearly, the defendant couldn't prove either, and as a result, he has to pay.
Hi, this is Andy Katz, host of March Madness 365, presented by Grammarly. This week on the podcast, listen as we break down the latest AP poll and give you insights on my updated Power 36. Listen to March Madness 365 with Andy Katz, presented by Grammarly, wherever you get your podcasts. Grammarly is a secure AI writing partner that gives your team an instant first draft in a few clicks, not a few hours. Companies that use Grammarly save an average of 19 days per employee per year. Grammarly works seamlessly across 500,000 apps and websites. Get personalized, on-brand writing help everywhere your team works. Learn what better writing can do for your company at Grammarly.com. Grammarly. Easier said, done.